pjnet.tv is streaming live. We are recording. We are running a bumper. It's 9:30 on the East Coast. And it is also Tuesday. That means Del Didway is coming our way. And we will count down to Studio 20. Starting now. Okay, good evening and welcome back to... It's dark outside. What do you see how dark it is? Let's turn the lights on behind the studio. Isn't that a beautiful sunset? Yes, that is beautiful. I don't know where that is, but anyway. Folks, Del Didway, see his name right there? That's how you spell it. I'll put it back up on the screen later. It's not supposed to be there now. Del Didway, always fun to hear. Now, Del has assured me and has requested that I not pull the pin on his grenade. If you want to know what's on Del's mind, go to Twitter or Facebook and read it there. He has pledged that we're not going there, that we're going to have fun tonight. He's got so much good news to bring us. So let's bring Del on board for a uncharacteristic, non-political documentary on things. And Del Didway blogs. Let me put his blog on the screen. He blogs every Tuesday, deldidway.com. And his blog, well, it's a potpourri, but it's always rooted in a spiritual truth that he uses sports figures. He uses, well, read the blog. Read the blog. And then you try to describe it. But Del, I was uplifted twice. You're kind of a double blessing in my life because every Saturday I listen to your podcast. We'll talk about that later. But right now, your blog, was very touching. And if you don't mind, summarize it for those that haven't read it, or tell us what's not in there, maybe.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. It's a beautiful sunset. I don't know if is that Tampa behind you? I have no idea where that is.
I honestly don't know. It's a stock picture out of our library.
And I'm in Studio 20. I'm never in the same studio each week. So
we're going to get more studios, Del. We're expanding. Pushing. I'm getting better at this.
That's awesome. No, I appreciate everybody tuning in as well. Everybody being in the chat room. I again was not able to get in for some reason. I'm locked out. Maybe you've handed the keys over to Twitter and they're blocking me or something.
Yeah, they're colluding against us.
Colluding against me. But Ben was a good show. Was able to listen to some of that on Facebook as well. So appreciate everybody being out there. I don't know who's out there because I can't see the chat room. But I appreciate people taking their time because I know time is the most valuable thing we have. So, the blog was interesting. A different spin on things. Again, used one of my interviews and a little sample to do a cheesy promotion for my book that's releasing next Monday, by the way. Monday? Yeah, so we're excited about that.
What are we going to talk about next week?
The one I have coming out in March. I have 3 releases this year, so we can talk about, or 4 actually. So we can talk about a new book release every week, I guess. But I'm very grateful for that. But I kind of wanted to preview it a little bit. Wanted to use one of my interviews, and this one could spark some interest because I used Jose Altuve. It's tough to say.
Just Jose. It sounds.
Jose. I was able to interview Jose up in Cleveland during the All-Star break, and Jose's. I think he's, if not one of maybe the second shortest men in the Major League Baseball. He's 5'6".
5'6", I remember.
And 165 pounds, but he plays tremendously. He's a most valuable player. Silver Slugger Awards, MVP awards. The guy can play baseball to be a second baseman at 5'6". I mean, home run leader. So the guy can play ball. He's not a big guy either. He's not bulked up either. So was able to talk to him about his faith up in Cleveland. Very open about it. He's very open about it all the time, actually. He always talks about his faith openly and talks about how good God's been to him, not just because he's a Major League Baseball player. He says it's easy, because I got this money and all this other stuff. He said it's easy to do that, to say that. But he grew up that way. And his parents, he says, made him go to church, made him attend services, and made him go to church camps and things like that. And so he just said, it's been my way of life. It's who I am. I grew up that way. Good things happen to me, so why should I leave it?
Mm-hmm.
You know. And he said, I don't want to go the other route because I have no need to. I don't want to. And we'll get into the, I guess, pseudo controversy with him later. But the point of my blog was, parents today need to have that attitude that Jose's parents had, that we had, my wife and I had. There was just no debate. There was no discussion.
Right.
You're going to church.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As long as you're in our house, not all, when they could, there was times I didn't feel like going, but we went.
Mm-hmm.
There's times when we can't feel like going all the time. There you have things going on. You have other events going on. We rarely missed, but there were times we did, and it wasn't frivolously. Wasn't the
providential hindrance, I think, is the general umbrella we push that under.
There were times when we had something that would come up that we had to go to or was obligated to. So, yes, there are very few exceptions, but few exceptions. Revivals we went to, church camps we went to, Bible schools the boys went to. So they were there, and there was no discussion about it. But we were also fortunate our boys liked going to church because that's what they knew. Like Jose, that's how he grew up. Their friends went there. They had fun there. So it was kind of a no-brainer. But there were times when we had to say, you're going. I know you don't feel like it. You're upset about something. You have a big project. You're going to church. And okay. So I do know some folks who said, well, such and such, where the kids would run the roost. And that shouldn't be.
I was going to say, tail doesn't wag dog.
No. And I understand, and unfortunately there's some situations where kids can be bullies to the parents, and I'm not in that situation, so I can't give advice there because I've not been in that situation, and I never will be in that situation. But I do know some people who were afraid of their kids, and that's unfortunate and that's a shame. But you're the parent. We had and I'm not being mean, I'm not being overbearing. I told my boys one time to do something. If they didn't do it, there was something. I didn't get into this, hey, I'm going to tell you one more time. No, that didn't happen.
Yep.
It was one time.
There you go.
Now, there were a few times where I gave them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they didn't hear me.
Dell, everybody needs to go to obedience training class because that's one of the things you learn. Do not issue the command more than once because you're teaching the dog to count. When does he really mean it?
Right. So it was one time, occasionally twice. Again, if I didn't, maybe they didn't hear me. I get it. But
maybe you weren't clear, They
weren't clear. Maybe they didn't understand. And I always told them, you're going to mess up. I mess up. Everybody messes up. If you mess up at school, you best tell me because I will find out. And if I find out, it's going to be bad. So tell me up front, and it won't be as severe as it would be when I found out. So that was the understanding we had.
Well, let me add to that, Dale, and don't want to derail you.
No.
It's better if we make a mistake. Why don't we announce the mistake and own it before being presented with it or confronted with it?
Well, that was actually one of the topics of my podcast last week was when I interviewed Andy Pettit because he was involved in a controversy and he decided to tell the truth.
Get ahead of it.
Get ahead of it, even though, what he was perceived, and it's a lengthy story, I won't get into it. Yeah. But Andy...
I did derail him. Okay. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Andy Pettit is a fabulous pitcher. He retired now for the Yankees and Astros. 5 World Series rings. He got, great pitcher. Should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he'll ever be in the Hall of Fame. He did get enough votes to get back on the ballot in 2020 because he was linked to a human growth hormone scandal, HGH scandal. But when he took the drug, and he took it to heal his body because he had tendonitis, and I don't think he took it to get an edge. And he came out and said that. He said, I didn't take it to cheat, man. I was just trying to get my body to heal. And when he took the drug, it was not banned. It was not a banned substance. So there was no wrongdoing. It just had that connotation that's, he's cheating. So he came forth and faced the New York media, faced the world, and had to apologize in front of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I don't think he had to, because it wasn't illegal. So, but he did it anyway. He said,
Well,
"Hey, I did this, and I took the brunt for it."
that's the difference, Dale, between leaders and the people that follow.
Right.
Okay, the leaders are taking the initiative, going beyond. I heard a speech from Bob Dole at the Citadel, and then some. You do what's expected of you, and then some.
Yeah, and then the controversy that we thought about with Jose Altuve was this. Again, a great, beloved baseball player, great personality for the game. I mean, he's energetic. He's kind of like Lindor. He's always smiling. He produces, he's always energetic. After I interviewed him, the next season, there was a quote-unquote cheating scandal that the Astros may have or may have not been involved in when they won the World Series, right? Jose's name was mentioned. And so I'm thinking, I have him in this devotion. And so we researched it. We really researched it and made sure there was no evidence. There was no admission. He was accused. Mm-hmm. Anybody can be accused of anything. So, we actually did research and we talked to publishers about it. Should we take it out? Should we leave it in there? Is it bad? Kind of the same road we went down with Ben Roethlisberger. So we decided, you know what? There's no admission. There's no evidence. There's just only allegations. So we decided to keep it in there because, there's anybody can be accused of anything at any time. Again, there was never any proof that happened. So if he would have come out and said, yeah, I cheated, we probably would have yanked that because of that, but it didn't happen. And he was, again, there was smoke, but never fire. So we decided to keep it in. We think it's a good devotion. The devotion about him is, anything, if you live the right way, you're not guaranteed good things will happen, but you got a shot at it. You got a really good shot at it. So that was a devotion that it's in chapter 2, actually, because Jose's a big name, small guy, but a big name. So.
Well, we keep going back and forth. Let me add, Dale, your blog, when you said it, nothing's guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Your blog takes that extra step and says you can, as a parent, do all the right things. Mm-hmm. But it is the child that makes their own decision, whether it's as a child or even after they become adults. And that must be painful because I know anytime my daughter has made a bad decision, it hurts. It grieves us.
I've met her. She's perfect.
Well, she has a good dad, that's what it is. Yeah. And, but so anyway, it grieves us as parents, but we can't own it. I'll tell well, no, I won't. What time's limited, but I'll tell you a story about two children that I was involved in their life. One went one way, one went the other. Anyway, long story.
That's all you can do. I mean, you can teach them the right way. That's it.
I will tell the story. I had to.
I know you would.
In Royal Ambassadors, RAs. Think of it as Christian Baptist Boy Scouts, okay, something like that. I led a group. It started out as 5, turned into about 25, and I had the honor of mentoring and coaching several young men. These guys are, 8 to 10, somewhere 12, somewhere in there. And one of them grew up to be a ordained minister, and he came home. He moved to South Carolina, but he came home one Sunday, and they had him speak. And he was giving credit to all those, he was just thanking all of those that helped in his journey with Christ. Now, I wasn't there that day. It's a rare occasion, but I did get a cassette tape, and I'm listening. You remember those. I'm listening, and he's mentioning all these people. Well, I took this young man, 12 years old, on a mission trip to Barbados. Well, he never mentioned it. So I rewound the tape, and played it. And I'm getting kind of angry. I'm feeling kind of left out, and God got a hold of me and said, well, what about the other boy in that same class that's in jail now? If you want to take the credit for one boy's achievement, you're going to have to take the blame for the other one's failure. Ooh. So I let it go.
Good choice. Yeah. So I mean, we did our part as parents, and fortunately, ours made the right choices. So far, it's not to say they won't later on in life, but as of right now, they've done the right thing. They're doing the right things. I wasn't really raised in church, but I had really good parents who, if I did something wrong, I felt the wrath pretty quickly. So, and I think we need more of that today. And so I remember I was a teenager, junior high age, and I remember I belched at the dinner table, and I don't know what hit me, but something within a second wiped across my face. And you know what? You think I ever did that again? No,
Doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen. And and I did a post earlier this last week. I think I put a pic. It was just a side picture of, I wear a gun a lot. I have a carry conceal, and so I wear a gun. And I had a lot of people of faith question me, saying, "Why would a Christian do that?" Or all I need is angels around me.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my goodness. And I thought, didn't David arm himself with some rocks and a sling?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are people who are just looking for an argument, or they're wrapped
some are
up in their own
sincere.
Christian.
Yeah, some are sincere.
I guess they're not sincere. They're misguided.
Well, they're sincerely wrong. But
yes.
I will tell a story. I'm sure I've shared it before, but we were bidding for a contract from AT&T, and we actually got the contract. But to get the contract, the people, they sent two of their vice presidents from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. And I was the software guy that wrote all the software that was what they needed, to do. Well, I've got these two starch white long sleeve tie, that they were AT&T vice presidents, and I'm in a t-shirt, flip flops, and a pair of shorts, and I'm showing them all the software, and I was introduced as just the programmer, not the vice president of the company. And one of the guys, you can tell when someone's, like a deer in the headlight. Their guys are kind of, so hey man, you okay? And he said, "What's that?" And he pointed over my shoulder. "Oh, that's my pistol." He says, "Why do you have a pistol on your desk?" I just leaned up in his face and I said to him, "What if I needed to kill somebody?"
Yeah. So
he didn't think that was funny at all.
I don't knock folks if they don't want to, but I want to. So, I mean, I don't expect, but at least the last people I expect to be chastised by are people of faith who say, "Oh my goodness, don't you trust God for?"
Yeah. Do they wear a seatbelt?
Yeah, I know. So anyway, I just count them all. I just feel sorry.
Was it you that posted that motorcyclist that was wearing a mask?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm not anti-mask at all. We were, but if people riding a motorcycle, no helmet, by the way, a mask on a motorcycle. So I'm thinking something's wrong. If they get the virus, which I hope they don't, and nationwide statistics show, and I'm not downplaying it. These are statistics. You have a basic 99% chance of living, right? You're going to get it. You're probably going to live. A really good shot. You're going to live at it. Mm-hmm. You wreck on that motorcycle going down the highway. Ooh, your chances is a whole lot less of surviving that crash. So I'll be wearing a helmet instead of a mask. But yeah, it's just because somebody said that to me. I thought, oh my goodness, seriously.
Well, it's like in the game of football. Since the game was created, the athletes wore jock straps.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Helmets came about 20 years later.
Yeah. So protect what's important. So. But I can't see I can't see the chat room. So I don't know who's out there, but I know.
Well, here I'll go down.
I know Amy's in it from Dallas. I know Patricia's on from Columbus, and
let's
Lee
just go down
and
the route.
Carol from Connecticut. Yeah.
Yeah, Barbara's here, of course. I'm here. Becky is in the chat room. Welcome, Becky. Good to see you.
Becky's in my Dugout Devotions 2. She wrote a chapter on Francisco Lindor. So thank you, Becky.
There you go. Ben Cooper, our guest last hour, and always in the chat room. Fred Bookman is logged in, and Hazards 4, our host on
Steve.
Friday evenings. And JD is here from the ranch. He'll be on this or a similar screen Thursday night. Kari, I think it's pronounced Kari Green. I can't see the rest of the name. And Catherine Paysauer is here.
Awesome.
She is also one of our programming partners and a wonder. And boy, I tell you what, she I said, you're well preserved. Yeah. She was wondering, does that mean I look old? Phoebe is here, and not a first-time visitor, but glad to see you come back. Rachel is here with us. Star Ayers is here.
Awesome.
Oh, and Star ran the trailer video the other day. It was raining, and she kind of capitalized on that. And I saw that. I said, yeah, that's good. And someone said, great vid. I thought, I know.
So, we're excited and thankful for everybody being out there. I know
Wesley Cooper's here.
Oh, awesome.
First-time visitor, I believe.
So we're thankful for that. We hope we didn't offend anybody, but
Tammy's here. That's the whole list. That's it. We're good.
Tammy, we're excited to get her Indiana book out in July. So she's looking forward to that. Big Hoosier fan, Hoosier girl. So we're excited about that. But we're also excited about next Monday. Dugout Devotions 2 releases. And then Indiana, Heart of a Hoosier is in July. First Time Devotions 2 is in August. And Kentucky Passion, we don't know the release date yet on that, but we got a big name on board on the Kentucky Passion. We got Kyle Macy, who's the biggest name as you can get in college in Kentucky basketball, is writing the forward for us on that book. So we're very excited about that because that's a big name. It's a big person to get on to write a forward for that book.
You got it. Now, Dale, you can remember your first book launch.
Yes.
Okay, but your career has been so meteoric, or not mediocre, but meteor, zenith, launch after launch after launch. Does it ever get a little dull? We got another book launch. Hope y'all will come.
Oh no, they're all exciting, and we did a couple of them. We did 3 last year. They were difficult because of all the restrictions that were put in place. So. We're kind of still hampered on this one. We think the other ones will be more loosened up. We can actually do some things and make some appearances. We're probably going to do some appearances. Do them in Texas. We're probably going to do some down in Florida and some other places. But we're looking forward to getting out, meeting, getting. In fact, I was on the phone today with a person who's well connected with Major League Baseball. We're going to be getting some books to some of the players, some pictures. With the books, with the players, which would be nice and helps overall promotions as well. So we're trying to get that. In fact, I'm finally going through my Pirates schedule, my Indians schedule, what games I'm planning on going to, circle. So trying to hook up with some of these players again. So because we couldn't do that last year.
I get it.
And, yeah.
Well, since we're not going to burst into flames over political events, tell us a little bit more. I listened to your podcast with great interest, and I'm going to put your website back on there because you said last week you were going to get
I haven't done it yet.
Well, folks, you can go to DellDidway.com, and from there you can find his Facebook, Twitter, and all those other. And if you look there, you'll find his podcast. I enjoy it because it's brief, it's short. Less than 10. What is it? About 15 minutes.
15 minutes max. I can't talk that much long. I can't talk long. So
well, it's different than many podcasts because he doesn't. It's not like this where we have two people.
Right.
And we try to be very conversational and unscripted here. But many podcasts are rather scripted. There's a set of questions and a set of answers, and it's just that it's sort of like it's programmed, and
it's fine.
It's the material's good, but I just feel better just having a spontaneous conversation and giving the Lord a little, make room for the Lord to guide a little bit, but Dale it's a monologue essentially, but it doesn't sound like a monologue. Because his voice is so trained, and I can listen to this thing in my car on my drive to work, or actually I listen to it on the way back. When I drive to work, he hadn't released it yet. But I can listen to it on the way back, and it's always he always strikes a good balance, Dell, between you vent a little bit, but that's really just a relief valve. The vast majority of it is aimed at introspection and getting the bigger picture and finding the spiritual foundation of the story rather than just the events, just like your books.
Well, thank you. But like last week's was about Andy's coming clean, I guess. But we all make wrong decisions. We all make mistakes, but you got to own up to them. If you hide from them, you're going to get found out. And that's the last situation I want to be in, because that's always told my boys, tell me before I find out. So here's the same way. He told people before they found out, so they didn't have a chance to go, drag him through the mud. He met it head on. And a lot of times, the first thing people do when they make a mistake is they try to hide it, try to hide the evidence. And that always backfires. It backfires at all levels. What always takes down presidents? It's not what they do, it's the cover-up. It's the cover-up.
Ask Nixon.
Nixon, ask Clinton. It's always the cover-up that gets you. So, Cuomo's doing that right now. He's in dire PR control, but he won't survive this politically. And just come clean, because sometimes when you come clean, that's not a guarantee that everything's gonna go good. But it also, society today, coaches, they love to believe the worst. If it's an allegation, oh my gosh, get rid of them. Mm-hmm. But if they come clean and say, yeah, I did this, it kind of takes the fangs out of them.
It does.
It does. So, but if there's nothing there, though, again, I'm not in these situations. People still won't forgive a lot of times. I go back to that classic example of Ben Roethlisberger. Mm-hmm. People either love or hate the Steelers. There's no in between. They're okay, I can take them leaving. You either hate them or you love them. Mm-hmm. So the haters, didn't like my articles on Ben because he talked about his forgiveness and his seeking forgiveness. And they weren't going to buy that because they didn't like him. No. So it all depends on if they like you, if you're likable, how you present yourself, whether they make their judgment on you or not. And it shouldn't be that way, but it is. I could give a lot of examples, but I won't go down that road because I'll open my mouth and something will come out. I don't want to come out, but classic example is Tiger Woods. Tiger, I admire his ability. I've been around him. I don't really care for his demeanor, but that's my opinion. I don't like the guy. I admire his ability and his tenacity on the golf course. It's very admirable, but I've seen him off the course and I don't like the way he treats people when the cameras aren't around. But, he was involved in an incident a few years ago. What did everybody want? Hey, Tiger's back. He's coming back. He's coming back. Oh my gosh, he's coming back. They wanted him back so bad, even though he, was involved in a pretty lousy scandal. They forgive him. If that would
have happened to us, we'd be in jail.
But they wanted to forgive him, and some people, they don't want to forgive because they don't like them, or he doesn't represent something, or he's not flamboyant, or he's not nice, or he's not. So it's just a matter of, first of all, does the media like the person? If the media doesn't like the person, then they're going to paint this person out as horrible as they are, as they can. If they like him, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, I saw today where a lady and I use that term, a female on that show, The Talk, the View, or whatever it's called,
The Talk, or whatever,
said today about Cuomo's allegations. Oh, they should just forget about that. Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Yeah.
Where's the Me Too movement now? Mm-hmm. Crickets. Mm-hmm. But Kavanaugh, they got that. They had their axe out, ready
And
to
there,
chop
yeah,
his
and
head
there was
off.
nothing to, yeah, and
And that was fabricated. So it's just a matter of hypocrites, and it's a matter of the media and how they perceive people.
well, before the veins bulge out on your forehead, let
No,
me
I'm good.
here's an observation, and this is why I wanted Dell to be part of PJNet. Is Dell finds those
Controversial.
athletes not only for what they do on the court, on the diamond, or on the field, but for who they are. And one of the things I think, the people I looked up to in sports that were my heroes, they were good people.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a platform, but it's all based on what they do,
Well,
not who they are.
There was one interview I did. It was in the first book. I got Devotions, talking to Adam Frazier, who's a second baseman for the Pirates, and I was down in Bradenton spring training, and talked to Adam. I was kind of recommended to talk to Adam. He's a young guy, good looking guy, up and coming player, and we were talking about his faith and some things. I said, "What's some of your struggles that you face?" And he says, "Man," he says, "walk outside this locker room. Walk outside." He says, and he was very open about it. He goes, it's hard not to lust. He goes, you walk outside spring training and you see all these ladies out here. There's, they're wanting to talk to me. They're very attractive ladies. He says, it's tough. And he was probably the most open guy I've ever talked to. He says, I battle with this. And he goes, it's hard not to. And he was very open about it. I said, I appreciate that, because I walked outside. Them ladies didn't look at me. I'm a middle-aged, overweight guy. And they were looking at these players.
Right.
And he said, man, it's a battle we face.
My PG version of that is in men's ministry. I've said, if men were Teletubbies and our thoughts were projected onto that screen, women would really be, they would run,
so,
but that's my PG version. And
I got you.
But I do admire that you delve into who some of these people are. And you have some big names in there, but you don't exclude the little guys that nobody knows.
Yeah, there's some people there. You're going to say, who's this?
Who's that?
He's a coach. So what? Or a manager. So, but yeah, I've got some very recognizable names in this book. I got Pujols again. I got Tim Tebow. Everybody's heard of Tim Tebow, who just announced his retirement from baseball. Curtis Granderson, Al Oliver. Al Oliver's a great name for the past. So we're Clayton Kershaw. So we got some pretty big names that we've interviewed in this book. I got Devotions 2, which launches on Monday. So we're excited about that. We hope it makes an impact. Clint Hurdle's in it again. We're going to probably do a book signing with Clint down in Tampa, or down in the Bradenton area over the next few months.
Well, give me a heads up when you head down that way.
We'll do that.
I can head down. That's not that far, and I need a break. I honestly really need a break.
Well, when the Barnes & Noble said they'd love to have us when they open up, and when they open up to that again, and so we're looking. Well,
they'll be open in Texas.
Yeah, I don't know if Clint will go to Texas. He lives in that area. He lives down there. So we're going to go down there. And he said, "Come on by." He said, "Bring Angie. We'll go out to dinner one evening and celebrate the book." So we're very excited about that. Good to have some good friends like that.
That's great. All right. Well, Dell, I appreciate you sharing. I always enjoy just chatting with you, and it's just fun knowing that we've got people like you with a radar up, finding good news and good stories about good people whose roots go deep into the biblical concepts that we all need to strive to adhere to. But Dell, you're a champ in your own right.
I just want to say, some of these guys will tell you they're not perfect. Who are in this book. They make mistakes, but they also know how to get back to that place that they need to get to. So that's the kicker. They all say they're human just like everybody else. They're just on this pedestal, and a lot of them don't like to be on that pedestal, but they're on that pedestal, and a lot of them use it. So like Albert Pujols uses that platform to tell everybody else. So yeah,
that's what makes them champions, and that's what we can learn from them. But Dale, we learn a lot from you. Thanks for sharing with us. It's always a joy, and we'll see you about this time next week. How's that?
Thanks.
What I'm going to do now is I'll switch to one of the aerial cameras high atop the Eagle's Nest broadcast facilities here at pjnet.tv. This is where it all happens. Now, all right, well, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. And I am on, I've got 4 of 9 behind me. 4 down, 5 to go on an 11 day. I said 9. Yeah, 9 days. Back to back 11-hour shifts, and hopefully we'll get through that, and God will bless it. And I am just thrilled when I look at our chat room and see all the wonderful people that join us there, and I always look forward. I'm going to go to bed as soon as I read the chat, and I'll have a cup of coffee so I won't fall asleep without having some time with my dog. He and I have to argue about who gets the bed because both of us. He hogs the bed, folks. He really does. So, folks, it's been a lot of fun tonight. We're going to do this again tomorrow night, as we always do, and we'll start about 9 o'clock, and I look forward to joining you then. Until then, before I leave, I would like to challenge you, or actually, I would like you to challenge yourself with 2 questions. First, what is the boldest thing you've ever done for Jesus Christ? Not the boldest thing you've ever done. The boldest thing you've ever done for Jesus Christ. And then second, how long ago was that when you did that? I hope none of us will be satisfied with our answers to either of those 2 questions.